Well, good Monday morning to you, and welcome to our Monday morning live edition of Healthy Living South Mississippi. Live healthy, be healthy with Drs. Jim and Janine Fox of Doctors Nutrition, Cowan Road in Gulfport, just south of Pass Road. They're open Monday through Friday from 10 till 5:30, Saturdays from 11 until 2. And Jim and Janine are there on Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, and Dr. Mays is there on Wednesday. No, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
on Wednesdays and Fridays. I had it right.
Wednesday and Friday. You had it right.
And neither one of them are there on Saturdays, but they've got a great crew of people that can always help you out with any questions that you might have. This is Open Line Monday. Last week actually was the first Monday of the month, but it was a pre-recorded show because it was the 4th of July, so we moved it to this week. And this is the show where you can call in with anything regarding your health. That's what this show is all about, trying to help you lead a healthier and live a healthier lifestyle. So if you have any questions, phone lines are open at 896-0713 or 800-349-0713. So please give us a call with your questions this morning. Now, y'all, we talk about your podcast that you do a lot. And you did. You were telling me you did a new one last night that was basically touching again on a subject that we touched on a couple of weeks ago regarding insulin. You know, your body creating insulin on its own and things like that. So, and you were telling me some very interesting facts about that. So, if you wouldn't mind passing that along to our viewers.
We talked to so many people that have the insulin resistance. You know, we've talked a lot about insulin resistance, and which is basically pre-diabetes. I mean, it's if you don't do anything to change that insulin resistance, you're going to wind up being diabetes. So, you know, we talked to so many people about it, and they've been told, oh, well, you know, your A1C is a little high, but it's not, you know, you're just pre-diabetic, you're borderline. Don't worry about it. All right, if you don't worry about it, you know, it's going to bite you.
Right, and the podcast was basically titled that it's not benign. Everybody thinks it's a benign condition, which benign means that it doesn't hurt you or it doesn't matter. People think, oh, well, it's not bad unless it gets worse. That's not true. All the new research is pointing to that your health problems are coming during the pre-diabetic stage. That if you let pre-diabetes stay around for years, you're going to have a lot of problems, just like if you were diabetic.
Exactly.
Even neuropathies. I mean, which a lot of people that are diabetic understand the neuropathies because most of them have them from years of being diabetic. They're even showing now that some of the neuropathies can be pre-diabetes. And we even talked about dementia and Alzheimer's a few weeks ago. They're even calling that type 3 diabetes, and you don't have to be diabetic to have it. It's usually a insulin resistance that affects the brain. So when you start looking at it, it affects the brain. It actually affects the vascular system. So it affects the blood vessels. So high blood pressure a lot of times is some of the symptoms as well that goes along with insulin resistance. So you got so many things that go along with it. And so that's what the podcast is about, is how it is not a benign condition. It is something that you need to pay attention to now and not wait until it gets worse.
Well, no, like you said, I mean, if you wait, then it could, you know, they say, well, it's pre-diabetic, but you're okay, you're fine. But okay, go on living the life that you're living, and next thing you know, well, you're diabetic.
Right.
Exactly. So.
And we see a lot of people that's had heart attacks when they're pre-diabetic. So I mean, the thing is it can actually affect the vascular, because a lot of times the pre-diabetes stage increases those triglycerides. And all these people that's been told they have high triglycerides, that definitely shows that you're insulin resistant. People that have high triglycerides. Well, high triglycerides, from what we've seen 20 years of what we've done, it's probably a higher risk for cardiac and heart conditions than cholesterol.
Well, even some of the latest research is pointing to that, you know, where they say that the elevated triglyceride is much worse simply because the carrier for the triglyceride is something called a VLDL, a very low density lipoprotein. And they're more problematic than even the quote unquote LDL or quote unquote bad cholesterol. So the VLDLs and elevated triglycerides and insulin resistance,
normally,
it's not benign.
Almost everybody, if you look at your patterns, if you have those high triglycerides, you normally have low HDLs.
Typically?
You do. And you don't necessarily have high LDLs, but you always have high VLDLs, like he just talked about. So, I mean, there's so many things that go along with it. Like I said, the neuropathies, the brain problems, the fatigue, the weight gain. And then you get the weight gain, start making other health problems. Right. So there's so many things that go along with it. You should not wait until you're full blown, or until it causes a major problem like a stroke or a heart attack.
And of course, again, one of the things that I recommend so many times is get some blood work done.
Right.
Get a blood panel done. You can go there to the Doctor's Nutrition office on Cowan Road. Brooke does a great job, and she stays busy over there.
Maybe the expanded panel, let's talk a little bit about that, just what
Well,
kind of differences it is.
As you talk about that, what all does the expanded panel look for?
Yeah, okay.
Well, it checks every aspect that you have to look at to find out if you are insulin resistant. And so many times when you go in and do your Healthy You or do your yearly checkup, they just do a spot blood sugar, maybe do the liver enzymes, those kind of things. And that's it. They don't look into it in depth. And you have to look a little deeper, and that's what we do in the expanded panel. We check the fasting sugar. We want to see what that is. And then we check the hemoglobin A1C, which gives you 90 days worth of average blood sugar. And then we go ahead and do the insulin. And all the research now says if your insulin is, greater than, 5 picograms per milliliter, then you're in trouble. You're starting to show that first sign of insulin resistance. So we see the average person probably, in 18, 20,
Probably
30.
the average person's around there. Now, you see some people, and you can actually have normal blood sugar, normal A1C, normal everything, and still, we've had insulin be like 70, which is really high. And most of those people cannot lose weight no matter what they do. That's what we hear from them.
That's true.
And so it is something that if you check everything, that's what we do with our expanded panel. It's a broad check because it also does your thyroid, and it does your adrenals and your stress hormones, and it does a urinalysis because we see so many women that have underlying urinary tract infections and don't know it. We see it more definitely in women than we do in men. But there's so many things that it checks. Vitamin D, it checks B12, it checks for deficiencies there, and we see so many.
A lot of the stuff that we've talked
B12
about.
and vitamin D deficient, a lot of stuff we talk about. So the expanded panel is probably the panel that we do the most, I would say. Now we have extra other panels, and you can add hormones, and you can add some of the extra cardiac risk, and you can do some of the inflammation markers and stuff like that.
Okay, I'm not sure. Do we have a caller from D'Iberville on the line with us? Okay. Good morning. Who's there?
This is Janie Colity.
Yes. What question do you have for the doctors this morning?
I have the question is that it hurts so much when I'm walking when I'm walking on the sides of my legs and the back of my legs, and it feels so weak, and I have to walk and stop. I never had to do that, and it just hurts utterly. I mean, I don't know what it is.
It sounds like
my bones or what.
Well, it sounds like you could have a problem, a vascular issue or a blood flow issue in there, because when you walk a little bit, you get what we call claudication, or insufficient blood flow, and those muscles start to hurt really bad when they don't get the proper blood flow. That's what it sounds like. My suggestion to you, you need to go to your physician and get that checked out. Okay?
Yes, I've gone to my doctor, and
tell them what you're telling us. That you're experiencing that pain when you're walking, and they should check you out pretty good from there and find out how good a blood flow you do have. Yeah. Okay?
All right. Thank you very much for your call this morning. 896-0713, 800-349-0713. It's Open Line Monday, so if you have a question, anything regarding your health, please feel free to give us a call. And welcome back to our Monday morning live edition of Healthy Living South Mississippi. Live healthy, be healthy with Drs. Jim and Janine Fox of Doctors Nutrition on Cowan Road in Gulfport. It is Open Line Monday, so you can call in with any question regarding whatever you can do to live a healthier and happier lifestyle. 896-0713, 800-349-0713. Cindy of Biloxi is on the phone with us right now. Good morning, Cindy. What's your question for the doctors?
Yes. Good morning, Paul.
Morning.
And I wanted to see. I just started antidepressant medicine 2 months ago, and I wanted to see. I'm on Lipitor and Paxil, and I wanted to see what's a good vitamin, because I used to take biotin, and I know you can't contradict that with any medicine. And I'm gonna hang up just to see what y'all say. But what kind of vitamins actually go with it? That's why I want to get some kind of information on what to take, because I'm a vitamin fanatic.
Okay, good.
And I always take them, but I'm scared to take them. I'm on Lipitor and Paxil.
Okay, we'll talk about things that you need to take when you do take those.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. How can I get more information on this other than my physician? I mean, is there...
Actually, there's a lot of places you can go online that tell you the depletions from medications. Because a lot of things, what we're going to talk about when we, of course, like you said, you wanted to hang up and then we would tell you what to take, is there's things that those medications deplete And you always want to make sure you replenish what it depletes, or you're going to have other problems from taking it. So there's a lot of places online you can go and just put drug depletions and which drug you're taking, and it'll bring it up. But right now we'll talk a little bit about the 2 drugs that you're taking. There's no doubt that Lipitor, any of the statin drugs, whether it be Lipitor, Zocor, Crestor, doesn't matter which one it is,
Any of those, yeah.
it depletes CoQ10, vitamin K2, and selenium. There's been a lot of new research on those being depleted, and it can cause other problems associated with the heart from depleting those nutrients if you don't replenish it. When you
That's why it's important. I need to get some kind of information on this, especially with the drugs and the vitamins on this common medication.
Actually, one of our specials this week, and we'll talk about it in the next segment, is going to be one thing you definitely need to take, and it's called CV Core, and it has the vitamin K2 and the CoQ10 in it, and it's made for cardiac. And we were going to specifically mention that if you're on a statin drug, you really need to take it because it helps what it depletes. Now, the antidepressants, there's a lot of things it depletes too, and a lot of vitamins and nutrients, so we always recommend a good multivitamin.
Just a broad spectrum multivitamin.
A broad spectrum multi, and you can take a multi with both of those medications with no problem.
Right.
We usually use one either called Megavites 1 or we have one called Megavites Lean, and either one of those with the CV Core would be what I suggest for you taking with the medications that you take.
Exactly.
Okay.
Well, I appreciate it. I really do. And y'all have a great day.
Okay,
Oh,
you
you
too.
too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Richard of Pascagoula is on the phone next. Good morning, Richard. What's your question for the doctors?
Well, my question is concerning blood sugar.
Okay.
Okay.
A while back during a procedure, the blood sugar was up, and then a few days later, I was able to do everything I needed to do because the blood sugar was normal.
Okay.
Is that a downs basis
Is it
on
up and
what you eat and your body conditioning? Is that the way the blood sugar works in this case?
Well, possibly. I mean, obviously, what we eat can, is going to, influence that blood sugar.
Right.
Now, if you're having a procedure done, of course, the stress can actually do that too. Can actually make things worse. So,
and a lot of times, if you were on an IV, if you were in the hospital, a lot of times that has extra sugar in it, and you see a lot of
Sometimes they
people's
do,
blood
yeah.
sugar spike while they're in the hospital because of that.
yeah.
Okay.
The thing you want to do now is to say, okay, now that all that's behind you, so to speak, now's the time to look at those values that we talked about, the hemoglobin A1C and the insulin and so on, to see, is there a problem brewing? Because you had an adverse reaction. Okay, is that something that's going to happen again? Is it something that can happen when you have dinner at night or what? That's something you want to look into and just kind of dig in a little deeper, and we can do that for you.
Well, that's fine. I'll stay in touch, or I'll get in touch with you.
Okay, that sounds good.
Call the office, yeah.
Okay.
Great.
Just, and just further study this. And I'm not having any problems. Everything worked out
Good,
great.
good.
But the first time I go, it says that it's your blood sugar's a little high. We can't do this. And then the next time, they let me wait a little while, and of course.
Now, if your blood sugar was a little high before you even had the procedure, then you know it's not what from being in the hospital. So you definitely need to come in and get some extra lab work done to see if you are in that pre-diabetic or insulin resistance, to show that you're starting to have a problem. Because you want to do something about it now, and changing the diet is one of the first things you do, and we have a sheet that tells you how to do it. So just come on by and we'll give you that sheet, okay?
All right.
So where are you located?
We're on Cowan Road in Gulfport, just south of Pass Road.
Okay, I come down there quite a bit to visit my mother.
Okay.
I live in Pascagoula, but my mother lives right there off the Pass Road.
Okay.
So
Okay.
Come right on by.
I sure will.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks
Thank
for the
you.
call.
Thanks.
Mary from Gulfport. Good morning, Mary. You're on the air with us. You got a question for the doctors?
Yes, I do. They offer you pills for the rest of your life when your thyroid is removed, and after it's removed, what is some vitamins, some extra that we can take for having no thyroid?
Okay.
Oh, there's all sorts of stuff.
Right, there's a lot of stuff. You want to just stay overall healthier, because unfortunately you're not going to make your thyroid make more thyroid hormone because it's not there anymore.
Not there anymore,
unfortunately, there's a lot of nutrients you can do if you have a thyroid to try to make it make more itself, but that's not going to happen with you. Right. So what we always recommend, if somebody's still having symptoms, is to have a little bit more checked on the thyroid. Most of the time your doctor might do the TSH, maybe the T4, but we find that a lot of people on complete supplement might not have enough T3. So having that checked And we do have a natural thyroid where it's a little bit of a thyroid from a pig, and it does have, you know, it will actually help those levels. But you want to have that checked first to see if you even need it, because you don't want to just take it without knowing that you need it. So that's something that you can add with not having a thyroid, but you want to have it checked first.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, you know, it's been out for 2.5 years.
Okay.
And actually, you know, they keep changing it up and down, up and down.
Okay, that's normally when we see people that actually probably do need a little something added to it. So if you, I mean, like I said, just come by and we can actually look at that whole thyroid and see if we can do something to maybe normalize it and level it out.
Yeah. We see it all the
Yeah,
time.
but I don't have a thyroid.
Exactly, but you
understand.
you still want to get those hormones leveled to be right, and that way you feel like you do have a thyroid.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, maybe I'll come by and have it checked
Okay.
out, because I am so tired. I don't want to have to feel like I want to take medicine for the rest of my
No,
life.
no, you are going to have to take medicine for the rest of your life, unfortunately. If you've had the thyroid
Really?
removed, you are going to have to take medication. We might can do some stuff to help you feel better from not having one, but no, you're going to have to take that medicine, unfortunately, because once it's removed, your body can't make it.
Yeah.
So you are going to have to take medication. I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Real quick, Dolores from Biloxi. Good morning, Dolores. You have a question for the doctors.
Good morning.
Morning.
I wanted to find out, my husband is in hospice care,
Uh-huh.
and our original purpose for him getting in hospice care is hopefully that he can get more in-home care until he gets better.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wanted to find out, can he get a full panel evaluation, and could it possibly help his situation now?
It's probably a little bit more than we need to get into on the air, Mary, but here's a quick answer for you. Call us, call our store. I think the number, we got our number? Yeah, there we go. Call our store number, and we'll be glad to talk to you, because, you know, when you talk about somebody that's in hospice care, they've got some pretty serious conditions going on. Really, you know, would want to have to kind of find out what's happening, you know, get into all the details and so on. We'll take our time and do that for you. Just call that number at the store, and I promise you we'll do everything we can for you, Dolores.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right, 896-0713, 800-349-0713. Margaret's hanging on the line. Margaret, hang on there. We'll be right back with you in our final segment and this week's special. And welcome back to our Monday morning live edition of Healthy Living South Mississippi. Live healthy, be healthy with Dr. Jim and Janine Fox. I know our phone lines are lit up right now, so if you're holding, please hold. We'll get to your call as quick as we can. Right now, Margaret from Ocean Springs is on the line with us. Good morning, Margaret. What's your question for the doctors?
Good morning.
Good morning.
I've been having leg cramps
Huh?
with charley horses in my feet and my calves, and I've been doing excessive work outside and sweating a lot.
Okay.
Outdoors. So am I losing magnesium, or I drink a lot of water to stay hydrated?
You're probably losing more than just magnesium.
Sometimes it can be sodium, it can be magnesium,
Yeah.
it can be potassium, it can be, you know, and we can check those electrolytes to see which one it is. For people that always come by and just say that they don't really want to have any lab work, they just want a broad spectrum, we have something called Citramins 2 that many people say help their cramping, but it has a little bit of potassium. You don't want to overdo potassium unless you know you need a lot. And it has magnesium, calcium, it has all those stuff in it. So
And it has all-
it really,
all of
and we
them.
also have one called Muscle Cramp and Tension Formula that also have the potassium and the magnesium, but also
Exactly.
things to relax the muscles. So we have a couple different things for that. And without doing lab work, you don't know for sure which mineral it is, but it usually is a mineral.
But it is very common this time of year.
Yeah.
Very
Okay.
common. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
We
All
even
right,
have,
so I'll come by and
Yeah.
have y'all check
All right.
me out.
Good
okay,
deal.
sounds good.
All right.
Thanks.
Thanks, Margaret. Danny from Gulfport. Good morning, Danny. What's your question for the doctors?
Yes, my name is Danny. I was calling concerning my mother.
Okay.
Okay. What's
Are you
wrong?
there?
Yes,
Yeah,
go
you-
ahead.
what's your
Go
question?
ahead.
Yes, she has the arthritis real bad,
Okay.
but they said she had a heating kind that keeps her hot all the time.
Okay.
And I was just, what can I do?
Probably a lot of inflammation.
Lots.
There is a lot of things you can do natural for that. We have something called Pernimax, as long as she's not allergic to shellfish. We have something called Phyto-4 that's more for the inflammatory part of it.
And the pain that goes
yeah,
with it.
and the pain. So
Yeah.
it helps. And so both of
That
those
works
those
good.
And it
two
works.
things
Yeah,
together
that
probably.
yeah, take it.
Yeah.
My wife takes it.
He takes it, and he has really bad back problems, and his wife takes it.
Because
Yeah.
she's always working with her arms and her business and everything. So, yeah.
But it really, there are some things that can help. Nothing can completely reverse the arthritis and the changes that are there. But there's things that you can do to help the pain and the inflammation.
Right.
All right. Thanks a lot,
Thank
Danny,
you.
for your
Thanks,
call.
Danny.
And again, mention that they are on Cowan Road in Gulfport, south of Pass Road. It's across the street from the old Kmart Garden Center.
Right.
That was on Pass Road. Go by there. They're open Monday through Friday from 10 to 5:30, 11 to 2 on Saturdays. Jim and Janine are there Monday, Tuesday, Thursdays. Dr. Mays is there on Wednesdays and Fridays. If you have any question, let's go ahead and talk about this week's specials.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. Just earlier we had the patient that called and said she was taking a statin drug and an antidepressant. Now this CV core is perfect for that. It's got like 200 milligrams of CoQ10. And it's known that the statins actually deplete your CoQ10. But it also has a whole bunch of other things in it. CV is cardiovascular.
It has your B12 and
yeah.
the methylated folate, and it has the, like I said, the vitamin K2, which a lot of things don't have your vitamin K2, which K2 is not a clotter like K1. No. But you still can't take it with Coumadin. So Coumadin is the only thing you can't take the CV core with.
But if you're taking those two drugs, it's perfect.
If you're taking any statin drug, it's a really good thing to take.
And if you're taking a statin drug, you need something.
Yes, you do. And the vegan protein powder is just it's a pea protein. It's a very hypoallergenic protein, and a lot of people like making protein drinks for breakfast or adding it to their smoothie or something. So that's just something that we put on sale this week.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's kind of something that
really
just about everybody can use.
And it's for vegans.
No, you do not have to be a vegan to actually do it. That's
just be a carnivore.
That's the name of it. It just happens to come from people that are vegan can still take it.
Gotcha.
But if you're
I'm just kidding.
anybody can actually use that protein.
Even us carnivores can take it.
Exactly.
We can use it if we want to. Right?
And again, we also want to mention that they were talking about calling or coming by or whatever. And that's the great thing about going over to the doctor's nutrition, because you don't need an appointment. If you go in, you might have to wait a few minutes. And also, there's no cost for a consultation, which is awesome.
Right.
Cheryl from Motion Springs is on the phone with us right now. Good morning, Cheryl. What's your question for the doctors?
I have plantar fasciitis, and I've had it for like 6 months, and I am tired of the pain.
There's a lot of things that you can do for that. We mentioned that Phyto-4, which is a good anti-inflammatory, and something like that, or bromelain. We use a lot of bromelain for it. That, and then there's some specific types of exercises, if you will, that you can do that'll really help. If you come by the store or call, we'd be glad to help you with those, because it's not a fun condition.
Right, and show you some of the exercises you can do, because you have to do some stuff for that plantar. And even the deep friction massage on the bottom of the foot is really good, so even some of the massage therapy can actually work with that.
But it works. It really does.
No wonder my wife gets me to do that all the time.
Crazy, but it works. Okay.
But yes, it does, because she takes the bromelain, she takes the Phyto-4,
yes,
and some other things in her.
Well, she had more of a tendinitis.
Exactly.
And actually,
which is similar.
Which tendinitis is just in a different spot. Plantar fasciitis is inflammation of the fascia at the bottom of the foot. And that's one reason it hurts so bad, is because you have to walk on it. It's something that you can't not do.
Like you said, it was a little bit painful when you're.
It's painful.
Massage.
And if it's not painful, it's not
going to work.
It's not
I always
work.
say if it doesn't hurt when you're doing it, it's probably not going to do any good later.
Yeah.
So it does need to be a deep enough, what they call deep friction massage, which when you go that deep, it's going to hurt. But you also help break up some of those little things in the plantar fascia.
It really works.
Okay. 896-0713, 800-349-0713. We got like a minute left. If you might be able to squeeze in one more caller if you call real quick. Next week, the importance
of omega-3s.
Yeah,
right.
We have so many questions asked about omega-3s and what different kinds there are, and what's the difference in this and this, and can I take flax instead, and can I, what's the difference in krill and fish oil? We're going to get into all that next week. So we're going to be talking a lot about all the differences, why you need them, how deficient they are in the American diet, and how it can benefit you.
Okay. All right. Well, again, join us again next week if you would. Again, if you have any questions for the doctors that you didn't get to today, you see the website on there, doctorsnutrition.com. Stock full of all kind of information. It's got webcasts or podcasts that they've done on there in the past that you can get information on, and just go back there through there. And, of course, some of the old shows that we've actually done here. Or you can stop by and see them. They're located on Cowan Road in Gulfport, south of Pass Road. Have a great week. Stay cool and stay hydrated.